Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to learn how to do Waiting on a War by the Foo Fighters. So it's a relatively new one of this. Well, it's the time I shot this video. And it's a great song. It's got some great chord progressions in it, some great vocals, so it's a really nice song. So I thought I'd bring this one to you guys today. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. Comment, like the video, share them with your friends and family, and all that good stuff. Helps me out. And if you really want to help out what I do here on YouTube, join my Guitar Academy. You'll see a link in the description below. My academy contains all my guitar courses covering we have complete beginner courses to more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone, everything. So there's a lot of stuff over there. You get a free 7-day trial from the link below. You can join the great community I have over there. And like I said, I could not do all this free YouTube content every week if it wasn't for people supporting me by being members of my academy. And they get access to all my courses and personalized support from me as well for doing it. So please join the family, all right? All right, so now we start here with just this D major chord. Now I'm not going to I'm not going to show you how to all the basic open position chords. I'm not going to show you how to play those note for note. I've got tutorials. If you don't know your basic open position chords, you can just go to GuitarLessons365.com, click on free lessons there, and then click on beginner. And then I'll have a detailed video lesson showing you all those basic open position chords that you'll see in the song. So anything beyond that, like a bar chord or a seventh chord that I play, I will show you kind of how to play it note for note. But the basic open position chords, it's better to kind of learn them first before kind of doing this. So we're going to start with just the D major chord. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to so this is an A7 sus4 chord. So basically we have just the open A string, the second fret on the D string, open G. So that's kind of that flat 7, make it a 7th chord. And then the octave of that at the 3rd fret on the high E. But in the middle there, on the B string, we still have that 3rd fret on the B string, which we kind of kept from the D chord. So that could have been an A minor 7th or a A dominant 7, but he moved it up to the 4th, so it's a sus4 there. So this. Now from there, we're going to go to an E minor 7. Now he plays this a couple of different ways in the song. You're going to have the version where we have this 3rd fret on the high E being played, and then there's a version later on in the bridge where he plays it with the open high E. So right now, he keeps these top 2 notes on the 3rd fret on the high E and the B there. And then underneath it, you just play regular E minor. So it's going to be the open G, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the A, open low E. So that's probably how most people are going to want to play it. I think he's actually playing it like this, where he's actually holding 2 notes just with the tip of his index finger. So that's 2nd fret on the A and the D. So that is possible to do that. It's not really a bar. It's kind of just places his finger right in between those 2 strings, and you can get both notes down. So that's a. Now from there, just go to regular G major chord. And then repeat those same 4 chords. Never really wanted to be number 1. Just wanted to love everyone. Alright, and then we have the pre-chorus, which looks like this. Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this? More to this? More to this than? And that leads to the chorus there. So that is that E minor 7 chord, the same way of playing it that we did in the first and just in the opening verse. From there to a G major chord. and then to the D, and then A7 sus4. Of course, sounds great, doesn't it? So we have this. Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this than that? And then we start repeating it again, but the second time through we change the chords up. We still start with the first two chords, so the E minor to the G, but instead of going to the D and the A7 sus, we're gonna move to this C major add 9 chord. So basically he's keeping those notes ringing up top a lot and then changing chord forms underneath it, and that's what gives us the kind of these funky chord names that you might not be used to. He's probably not analyzing it like that himself. He's just playing kind of familiar chords while he's keeping that going, and it creates that cool kind of drony sound. So we have this the E minor to the G, and then we're gonna just basically this G chord. All you got to do is take these notes that are playing on the A and the low E, take each of them, move them down one string. So it's going to be the 3rd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D. So he uses this as a transition into the chorus a lot, just kind of holding on that chord, that C major add 9. So we have this for the entire pre-chorus. Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this than that? Is there more to this? More to this? More to this than? And now from here we go into the chorus. Just waiting on a wall. Just waiting on a wall. Alright, so that is kind of similar. It's just a 4-chord progression that's repeated twice, and the last chord is different for each one. So we start with that D again. Now we have another sus chord. Really cool. It's a B flat sus2 chord. So how do you play that? Down here at the 1st fret, you're going to bar across the first 5 strings. This is the A string, that 1st fret on the A string, that B flat, that's the bass note, the root note of this chord. And then we're going to play the 3rd fret on the D string, and then the 3rd fret on the G. And then that bar is going to be playing still the 1st fret on the B, and then the high E. Now I know bar chords down here, 1st fret, it's the hardest place to pretty much play them until you get up here, really, but it's a lot of string tension down there, so that can be uncomfortable. But so we have this waiting on a wall, and then from there we're going to go to the normal torture device for most beginners, which is an F major chord. Old standard. So we have this bar at the 1st fret there across all 6 strings, and then the 3rd fret on the A, 3rd fret on the D, 2nd fret there on the G. So waiting on a wall. From there, back to that C major chord. So that's the 4th chord of C major. So it's a 4-chord progression. And then we start repeating it the same way, except we're going to replace this C chord, the last chord, with a G chord instead. So it's back to the D. And it sounds like to me what they're doing here, instead of going up to the G, that's kind of bigger sounding, it kind of sounds better to do it like that. It's a little bit more subdued sounding and doesn't have the big wrangling, jingling, jangling string, open strings. So basically from this F major chord, just move it up 2 frets to a G major. So all together for the chorus, just waiting on a wall. then we're to the same verse again, same pre-chorus, and same chorus again. So everything's the same. Just repeat it that we've just done. And then we get to this, I call it kind of a chorus extension part. They do it at the end they kind of rock it up at the end of the song. So it's coming out of this second chorus, and we have this, just waiting on a wall for this and that. There's got to be more to this than that. Just waiting on a wall for this and that. There's got to be more to this and that. And that takes us to the bridge. So that is just the D major chord. Like I said, they're gonna, at the end of the song, we're gonna play this when they switch to the kind of more distorted tone, and they're playing that riff the whole time they're doing it. So it's the D major chord, and then the B flat sus2 chord, and then the G. So if you wanted to play the regular G chord, that sounds great, fine too, whatever. You do it like that, or just the bar chord. Alright, so might be just a regular G, open G there. Alright, and now we have the bridge section. So this is a slightly different chord progression here. And there's just that, it's kind of just, no really lyrics there, just kind of like singing some melodies there. So it looks like this though for this section. Alright, so we basically have this E minor 7 again, but he plays it differently here in the bridge. There's a couple videos in playing it live, and live sometimes he'll play this kind of version of the E minor 7 through a lot of the song where he doesn't play it like that on the album. It doesn't have the high note go on the entire time like he does on the album. He plays this other version of E minor 7, which is basically like an E minor chord, but you're going to add the third fret there on the B string. But we have that high E string open as opposed to what we did before, which is really what's played on the album, but you hear on the album. Like I said, he might go live, he might be playing that E minor 7 version the entire time, but I'm trying to do it like he does on the album. But in the bridge section on the album, he does play it like this, which is the E minor 7 chord with the open high E string with it. To a G major chord, to a D major, to an A7 sus, and then kind of the same thing before, E minor 7. Remember the E minor 7 with the open E string though, to the G, and then we're gonna, as we always kind of transition back out of this with that C add 9 chord. And it does take us to the verse though out of that. So just all together for those bridge chords again. And then it goes back to the verse, just kind of one time through. Just those verse chords one time through the chords, and then to that C major add 9 chord transition. That kind of transition going on. So after that, they'll get that C major 9 transition. Transitions to the chorus. So after you've played that bridge one time, the verse one time through, you do that C major add 9 chord, hold that, transition to the chorus. So we're one time through the chorus. And that's when the band kicks in with that chorus extension riff. So that's on electric. So I'm going to really quickly switch over to my Strat and I'll show you the rest of the song with a little solo, unison bend solo at the end, plus that kind of the way they're playing that chord progression on the distorted guitars. All right, I'll see you there. All right, so now through the magic of video editing, I have my Strat. So it's going to be very quick here. The electric part is pretty much just that little chorus extension riff. Like I said, Foo Fighters, they have 24 guitar players in the band. So they can play the same, all of them can play the same 3 chords, but with slightly different voicing, and it kind of makes the sound even bigger. So you can decide how you want to do it. You can have one maybe playing the D here, to that B flat, but don't do that. Not really the sus2 anymore. We're kind of rocking out now, so we're just going to stick with the B flat power chord. So that first fret of the A string, 13th fret of the D and the G. And then take it down to that G chord like we did before. This is the G bar chord version of it, maybe. So that's kind of like a more subdued one. Remember, it's building up first, so it goes. And then just kind of open it up. Start speeding up. So it's the same chords, they just start going nuts on it. And then you have another guitar player that can play maybe the D power chord here, and then the B flat, or play it here, whatever, and then the G power chord, the open G power chord. So that's just, remember you play the 3rd fret on the low E, mute the A string so you don't have the 3rd in there. So that makes it a power chord when you don't have the 3rd. Open D, open G, 3rd fret on the B, 3rd fret on the high E. So that with this, sounds pretty cool, all right? So the only other thing we have coming in here is some unison bend melody that happens with it. It looks like this. All right, so that unison bends here. So what this is we're going to play the 10th fret there on the B string. And then what we're going to do is we're going to also play the 12th fret on the G string with it. But when you play those notes together, take the note then on the G string only and raise it, bend it up a whole step until it matches the pitch that you're already holding on the B. So that little, and they slowly go into tune together, and that's the effect. And it's called a unison bend because the 2 notes become in unison eventually when you get to the top of that bend. So you do it here at the 10th fret, so you're holding the 10th fret on the B. So you got the 10th fret, then move it up 1 fret, do the same thing, and then one more fret to the 12th fret. And then do that exact same thing again. And then we're gonna jump, after you've done that twice, jump up here to the 15th fret. So you have the 15th on the B now, 17th on the G, and do the unison bend there. You're gonna hold that one. And then you can rebend it and stuff. That's pretty much all that's going on there. It's gonna end on that D chord there at the end. All right, so it's a fun song. It's a really great. I love the beginning of the acoustic, the chord progression, the melody. It's a really nice song. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning it. All right, I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.